And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another episode of Laker Connections, your home for all things Laker sports. I'm your host, Brian Rudman.
And I'm Aaron Valentino.
As always, we will start the show with This Week in Laker Sports, recapping the highlights from last week's action. So, Aaron, take it away.
Thanks, Brian. This past weekend, the Oswego State men's soccer team took on the Potsdam Bears and rival Plattsburgh Cardinals. Against Potsdam, the Lakers came away with a 2-0 victory with goals scored by Caleb Asamoah and Steven Rojas. The Lakers then went to Plattsburgh to take on the Cardinals, where they were hit with a 2-0 loss and ending their 7-game scoring streak. So, Brian, what happened to the Lakers in this Plattsburgh game?
Well, look, this Plattsburgh game, it's not as bad as it seems. Yes, they got shut out, but they actually played fairly well. Talking to head coach Dan Kane during the week for the Oswegonian, he talked about how he thought that this team actually played a little better against Plattsburgh than they did against Potsdam, and that's because they controlled the ball in the midfield. This is something that we've talked about in the past couple weeks after the matchups against Oneonta and Cortland, is that this team has to do a better job of controlling the ball. That's the key. In soccer, in order to create opportunities, you have to have the ball at your foot. And yeah, they didn't finish any other opportunities last Saturday against Plattsburgh, but at least they had them, and that's an improvement. When you're going up against good teams like Plattsburgh, Oneonta, Cortland, you have to have your opportunities. You can't win if you can't score, and you can't score if you don't have the opportunities. So even though they lost, this is still looking promising for this Oswego team as they head towards the SUNYAC playoffs.
I mean, hey, listen, sometimes the ball just, doesn't bounce your way, and I think that's what happened here for the Lakers. They dominated this game. They took 17 shots to Plattsburgh 6. I mean, you look at the full screen here. Plattsburgh won this game, 17 shots to 6, 9 corners to 2. So Oswego played a very solid game. Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. Take this one with a grain of salt. Plattsburgh's not a bad team. They're a good team. 6-1 in the conference, second overall in the conference. But just a little bit of bad luck. Move on to next week. You're in the playoffs. Move on and get the win next week.
Absolutely. If you're this Oswego team, you just got to look ahead, keep your heads up. This season, it's still going on. You still got to focus on the now. Put this game behind you, move on, win the next one. Moving now to volleyball, as the Oswego State volleyball team hit the road last weekend for 2 matchups in the SUNYAC against Buffalo State and Fredonia. The Lakers swept the weekend, winning all 6 sets during the 2 games. With the wins, the Lakers moved to 5-2 in the SUNYAC and have clinched a playoff spot. So, Aaron, what did you see from the Lakers during their dominant weekend?
Well, this is just another great weekend by the Lakers, and they continue to play great volleyball, all year round. I mean, these 2 teams, yes, they are at the bottom of the conference, but these are big confidence boosters for the Lakers. You see, they sweep the weekend. They won 3-0 in both those games. And you look at the SUNYAC standings, they've clinched a playoff spot. They're right up there with Brockport at 5-2. Cortland, unfortunately, they lost to earlier in the year, and Geneseo 7-0. They've been playing some great volleyball, but the Lakers got to be happy with how they played this weekend and how they've played overall, getting that playoff spot. They have a big weekend coming up in Brockport and Geneseo, and let me tell you something. Talking to Coach O'Connell this week, he said these girls, they got to fight to them. And they've been playing together for 3 years, the starting 6 for the Lakers. Their confidence is at an all-time high. Just continue to play great volleyball. Play your brand of volleyball.
Absolutely. This is a great weekend for this team. And looking at it, this is exactly what you want to see. We saw the standings before. The 2 teams that they faced are at the bottom of the conference, and that's exactly what you wanted to see if you're Coach O'Connell. When you go up against lesser teams, going into the matchup, if you're a coach, you don't want to play down to your opponents. But in the back of your mind, you got to know, these are games that we should win. So if you're Oswego, this is exactly what you wanted. You dominated from the start. You really, you put your foot down. You controlled the game from the start. You got ahead early. That's a key for this team. So this is a huge confidence boost looking ahead to this big weekend and even looking forward into the SUNYAC playoffs to know that you're in that top group where you can beat the lesser teams in the conference.
Lakers volleyball, they just keep on rolling. Coach O'Connell in the playoffs. Switching now to women's hockey, as the Oswego State Lakers lost their first exhibition match of the season 4-0 against the London Junior Devilettes. The Lakers were outshot 32-24 and failed to capitalize on 3 power play opportunities. 3 of the 4 Devilettes goals came in the third period when backup goalie Tia Travato was between the pipes. So, Brian, what did you see in this hockey game against the London Junior Devilettes?
Well, look, this Oswego team played much better than the final score would indicate. Because, look, at the end of the day, when their starting goalkeeper, Rachel Farmer, came out, they were only down 1-0. You're still in that game. If you're Diane Dillon, yeah, you want to be up at the end of the second period every time. But at the end of the day, if you're only down one goal, you're still in the game. So look, at this team, they didn't play great by any stretch of the imagination, but they didn't play poorly. And you can see what Rachel Farmer did this weekend against London. 18 saves, only 1 goal allowed. That's promising if you're a coach because, yeah, your goalie faced quite a lot of shots in her 2 periods played. she did a great job. At the end of the day, though, the biggest thing for this Oswego team is they have to get better at capitalizing on their opportunities. Like you said, they had power play chances and they just didn't convert, and that's something that really has to be fixed if you're this Lakers squad.
Yeah, I mean, this team's just got to score. I mean, this is something they struggled with last year. They're bringing back 84% of their scoring this year, and they played a good game of hockey. No reason, to be ashamed of this one. They took 24 shots. They looked a little bit sluggish out there, but it's all about getting your feet wet on the ice. That's what these exhibition games are all about, finding yourself and finding, where you are at as a hockey team. Rachel Farmer, a great weekend. Like you said, 18 saves, a .947 save percentage. She faced a lot of shots. Just a good weekend. Obviously, you want the win. Move on to the next one.
Absolutely. This isn't exactly the result that this team wanted, but you got to take some of the positives when you can take them. And Rachel Farmer certainly was one of them this weekend.
Hockey in Oswego, back again. Heading into the final weekend of the regular season, both of the men's soccer team and volleyball teams are fighting for higher seeds in the SUNYAC playoffs. Will they be able to do it? Our predictions and more right after the break. Welcome back to Laker Connections. It's now time to take a look at the week ahead, where Brian and I will take a look at key Laker matchups. Brian, let's start with some men's soccer.
Absolutely. Like you said, we're going to start on the soccer field as the Oswego State men's soccer team will take to the road once again to close out the regular season when they face Fredonia and Buffalo State this weekend. The Lakers come in with a SUNYAC playoff spot already clinched and will look to clinch a home game with wins this weekend. So, Aaron, what do the Lakers have to do to earn that SUNYAC home game?
Well, they got to win both these games. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Home field advantage is something that's huge in all sports, not just soccer. But I want to focus on this Buffalo State game for a second. This is going to be an amazing soccer match, folks. Let me tell you. We talk all year about Brian Tarrant, this amazing Lakers defense. Buffalo State, better. They're letting in .56 goals per game. That's almost less than a half a goal per game. That's incredible. Nobody scores on this team. And also, they're scoring over 3 goals per game. That's the best offense in the SUNYAC. So if you're Brian Terra, you got to be ready. This offense is going to come, and they are going to attack, and they're going to attack, and they are just going to keep going. You're going to rack up some saves this weekend, but you got to make sure you save them all because the Lakers' offense is going to have a hard time scoring against .56 goals against. You want to win this game? Take some shots. Take as many shots as you can. Do the same thing you did against Plattsburgh, only finish this time. And, moving past Buffalo State in the standings could be huge for this Lakers team.
Absolutely. It's a huge opportunity for the Lakers this weekend. And like you said, it all starts with getting your opportunities, and that starts in the midfield. Like we said, you take a look at the SUNYAC standings. Oswego has that chance. They're right behind Buffalo State. They have a chance to jump to that 3 seed, which could be huge because Cortland's looming right now at 5, and that's a tough opponent to play in the first round. But looking at this weekend, once again, you mentioned it. You got to get chances and you got to get shots on goal. We talked about it before the break, how this Oswego team, it all starts in the midfield. So who I'm looking for this weekend, seniors Jack Van Pelt and Anthony Paris in the midfield to come up huge. That's who the Lakers have to rely on. Rely on your seniors to create those opportunities for this team.
A big weekend for men's soccer. It's also a big weekend for volleyball, as this weekend the Oswego State Lakers will take on the Brockport Eagles and the undefeated Geneseo Knights. The Eagles have the same record as the Lakers in the SUNYAC at 5-2 and will look to move up in the SUNYAC playoff seeding. As for the Knights, they look to clinch the 1 seed in the conference. So, Brian, what do the Lakers have to do to beat both of these top conference opponents?
Well, win the first set. That is the biggest thing. I know it almost sounded like I just said win, but I mean, win, baby, win. Let's do it. First set is the key. This team is very good when they get ahead. If you fall behind on the road to really good teams like we're going to see in Brockport and Geneseo this weekend, that spells trouble for this team. So you got to rely once again on your big players, Lauren Fye, Sean O'Flaherty, and Melissa Lucier. Those are the girls who I'm looking for to step up big for this team this weekend. And you look at these statistics, and yeah, Brockport and Geneseo, 2 of the top teams. Geneseo obviously 7-0, but Oswego statistically, they're right up there with them. You look at the points per set, 15.5 for Oswego. That's higher than either of their opponents this weekend. So really, know that you can play with these teams. That's the key. Being confident going into these games and get ahead early. Those are the two big things for me this weekend.
Yeah, this is a huge weekend for the Lakers. I mean, these are two top conference opponents, but they're, just play your brand of volleyball. These starting 6 seniors, they've been playing together for at least 3 years, and some of them even 4 years. So I spoke to Coach O'Connell on Wednesday. He fully expects this team. They have the talent and they have the chemistry to compete for a SUNYAC title at the end of the year. Looking at all 3 of these teams, like you said, they're very similar statistically. And Geneseo, they may be 7-0. They're not dominating the conference by any stretch. They've only swept teams that the Lakers have swept in, teams like Buffalo State and Fredonia. If you're the Lakers, go out there and prove that you are the best team in the conference, and if not one of the best teams. These are 2 big games, and I fully expect the Lakers to play well in both of them.
Absolutely. If you're the Lakers this weekend, put the SUNYAC on notice that you are dangerous in this tournament. Headed now to the wheelhouse as the Oswego State women's hockey team will host William Smith College this Saturday at 3 p.m. to close out exhibition play. The Lakers will look to get themselves into form before taking to the road next weekend to open up the regular season. So, Aaron, how do the Lakers turn things around from last weekend?
Let's all relax a little bit. It's an exhibition game. Obviously, you wanted to win that game. It's the teal game, but there's no need to panic. You looked a little sluggish out there in the first game. That's all right. Just go out there, get your feet wet again, play your brand of hockey. You played a good game of hockey last week. Just finish this time. You played a good game of hockey. Just play it again. Keep playing great defense. Obviously, that third period was a little bit lackluster, but that's all right. Just keep moving forward and try to put some points up on the board because you can't win if you can't score.
Yeah, well, you can see the keys to the game that we think are important this week. And score early, score often is my biggest thing. When you are looking for a confident boost, putting the other team on the back foot early, that's huge. And they also need to take advantage of the power play. This is when you're on the power play, you got that player advantage. It's 5-on-4. That's the biggest opportunity you're going to have, perhaps in the entire game, to score. So it's really huge that this team needs to do it, and also help out your goalie. Keep the crease clear. It's really hard to stop pucks when there are bodies in front and the puck's just sitting there. Help out Rachel Farmer this weekend and get yourself a confidence boost going into the regular season.
Go out Saturday and get this win. Hockey is back in Oswego, and boy, that is a beautiful thing. Were the Lakers able to live up to their championship or bust potential in the opener? Ryan and I will break down the highlights when we come back. You're watching Laker Connections on WTOP 10. Welcome back to Laker Connections. Brian, it was the first weekend of hockey in Oswego. How'd the Lakers do?
Well, Aaron, the Lakers took on the Carleton Place Canadians in the Morano Campus Center for their first exhibition match of the season. Let's get to the highlights to see how they did this weekend. The Oswego State Lakers taking on Carleton Place, as I mentioned, in the teal game, spreading awareness for ovarian cancer and honoring Mary Gosick in the process. Oswego going to get it started early. It's going to be Derek Brown knocking in the rebound, putting Oswego up 1-0 in the first period. Carleton Place would bounce back. It's going to be Ryan Bonfield knocking in the puck. Oswego unable to clear. It's 1-1, but it would be all Oswego from there. Move later in the period, just minutes later. It's going to be Anthony Passero putting in his own rebound yet again. Lakers up 2-1, and they weren't done yet. Later in the first, Derek Brown, he had himself a game. Puts it in yet again. That's his second of the game. Now move to the second. And Lakers score. Look at that passing from Tanner Spink. Put it right in front. 5-hole goal, Oswego, and they would keep going. Carleton Place, a little miscue here. Turnover in the D zone. Carter Allen sniped it home, absolutely capitalizing. And here's just the icing on the cake for the Lakers. Pass across on the power play. Derek Brown putting in the hat trick. Lakers win it 9-1 in their opener. So, Aaron, how were the Lakers able to win in such dominant fashion this weekend?
2 words. Pure domination. I mean, my goodness, what a game from the Oswego State Lakers. Come out there firing, and Derek Brown, what a game. Are you kidding me? Derek Brown, was he in any of anybody's, looking at him before this game to make a big impact? An awesome night. Everything just seemed to click for the Lakers. They come out there, they're firing, they shared the wealth a little bit, a lot of, assists going around, a lot of points being scored. And overall, just a great game. They went 1 for 6 on the power play. That would be the only negative, but they scored on 2 of those immediately after the power play was over. One note from this game, David Richey, 9 saves, Hansen only 2. Richey, he's looking like the starting goalie right now.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. Hansen actually got the start in this game, which I found very interesting, not Richey. But you talk about this team, it's going to be very interesting. Didn't get a lot to look at from either goalkeeper. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Gosick moves forward with the goalie situation.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. But this weekend, the men's hockey team will now take on Nazareth College in their final exhibition game of the year. This is Nazareth's first exhibition of the year, and they will look to make a statement against the Oswego team that came out firing last weekend. Going into this one, the Lakers have a 3-game winning streak against the Flyers with a 5-0 record when they play them in the Marano Campus Center. So, Brian, what will this game show about the Lakers heading into the season?
Well, like you said, this team really looked good last weekend. They looked almost in mid-season form, and their passing was the most impressive thing to me last weekend. So I'm really just looking is can they keep it rolling? This is a really good Oswego State team. We know that they're looking really good heading into the season. I'm looking at the goalie play, though. Like we said, David Richey and Cedric Hansen in a battle for that #1 spot. We've talked about it in weeks past. Coach Gosick wants that #1. It'll be interesting to see whether they get their opportunities to shine. But I'm also looking for this team to just play a clean game. They did it last weekend. Keep the passing lanes clean. Keep playing good defense, and honestly, stay out of the penalty box, because that's a big thing for this team. They got to stay out of the penalty box and convert on their power play. Like you said, 1 for 6 last weekend. They did get those 2 goals, so 3 for 6 really. So look for this team to really work on special teams coming into this game.
I mean, this is a very winnable game for the Lakers. Like we said,
Absolutely.
They're on a 3-game winning streak right now against against Nazareth. I think we're going to pull up the history in just a second. But this is a winnable game, and you want to win these exhibition games. You want to set the tone for the year. Looking at 2016, they won that game 8-0, just pure and utter domination. 2017, a 5-1, and then last year, of course, a 3-0 win. They've outscored Nazareth 38-13 in their last 10 matchups, so this is a very winnable game. Just go out there. Interested to see how David Richey and Devin Hansen play in this one. Hopefully Hansen gets a little bit more opportunities.
Absolutely. Keep it rolling if you're the Lakers. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Brandon Ladd joins us for Laker Showdown. Brandon, you want to give us a quick preview of what's in store for us today?
Thanks, Brian. The men's soccer team is inching closer to a team record set 20 seasons ago. With 2 games to go, can they do it? It will be up for debate in Laker Showdown as Aaron searches for his first win. Stick around. You're watching WTOP 10. Welcome back to Laker Connections on WTOP 10. I'm your moderator, Brandon Ladd, and it is time for another edition of Laker Showdown. As a reminder for our viewers, I'm going to ask Aaron and Brian a series of 3 questions. They will debate for 90 seconds, and after time is up, I will give a point to whoever had the stronger debate. Brian has won the first 2 editions of Laker Showdown this season. Ready, guys?
I'm ready
Absolutely.
for my first win. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Here we
keep
go.
dreaming.
Let's do this thing.
Keep dreaming.
In the Lakers' 9-1 win over Carleton Place last weekend, Derek Brown tallied his first career hat trick. Those 3 goals matched his season total from last season in 1 game. Do you think this will be a breakout season for Brown or just a career night for the senior forward?
Look, I'm going to start here. He played great. There's no denying it, but I think it's more of just a career night. Because look, you look at this guy. Last season, only 3 goals. This is a very talented team. He may not get all the opportunities that he's going to get. Also, we got to take into consideration the team that they were playing. This Carleton Place Canadiens team was not that strong on Saturday night. They gave up 9 goals. You give me a face like they didn't give up 9 goals here.
I don't think you're right
come
on
on.
that.
This
I don't think
defense.
you're right on that at all.
Not the bee's knees this week. They were just not that good, if you know what I'm saying. So honestly, I think Brown played very well on Saturday night, but I'm looking for other guys to have big years. I think Brown will have a decent year, but I don't think it's going to be a breakout by any stretch of the imagination.
I got to go with yes. I mean, are you kidding me, Derek Brown? Look at this game versus Carleton Place. 3 goals, 50% shooting, his plus minus was +2. This Laker offense, this Lakers team, wants to win a national championship.
Yeah.
If they're going to do that, they need a breakout year from everyone. And why can't it be Derek Brown? He came out absolutely firing. You see his numbers from last year.
There's just not
3
enough
goals, 12
information
assists,
here.
15 points. There is way room for improvement.
Well, yeah, there's room for improvement. Do we know if we're going to get that? No. Again, look at the defense.
Dude, the power of that
the
third
other
line
team
is so good, Brian.
Exactly.
That there is no reason why Derek Brown can't have a breakout year. He is due.
First of all, lines change throughout the season. Also, look, we need to see more. We need to see more before I can say he's going to have a breakout year. The team gave up 9 goals. I'm sorry, I need to see him against a good defense.
And the point's going to go to Brian. It was a 9-1 game, Aaron. Everyone and their cousin was scoring a goal out there.
Carlton Place is 15-3. They got three or four D1 commits.
They're a junior team.
Last season, the Lakers struggled to finish both on the power play and find the back of the net when it mattered most. After their first game of the 2019-2020 campaign, the story is no different. If you were Coach Diane Dillon, who would you need to step up most for the team to have success?
It's got to be Kaylin Ferguson. And honestly, she's got to be the cat's pajamas this year. I mean, this team needs to score. They have to score. They're bringing back 84% of their opponent scoring. It can't just be all Erin Stewart this year. I mean, she was their leading scorer last year. They need to spread the wealth around, and they need to score more. This is Ferguson's numbers from last year.
You want to talk
4
spreading
goals,
the wealth?
3 assists, 7 points.
You want
they
to
got
talk
to score goals.
Erin Stewart led the team
is
in
going to
assists.
do that, though.
She's going to score. She's going to do everything. She's the
that.
one who needs to step up. A senior. She led the team in assists, led the team in points, led the team in plus minus.
So why does she need to step up?
Because at the end of the game, this team wasn't winning games. When you need a team to step up, when you need a player to step up, the Lakers don't ask for their 12th man on the bench to step up. They ask for LeBron to step up. You got to look for your big players to step up. That's why Erin Stewart
needs the smaller players to contribute more. It can't just. This is hockey, dude. You got to spread the wealth around, and you have to score.
Yeah, but
more
at the end of the day, if no one else is doing it, you got to look to your star.
If opponents know that it's all Erin Stewart on the scoring end, they're going to lock her
down
the whole game.
But it won't be. She's passing. She's
and if Kaylin Ferguson doesn't step up, they're not going to be able to score more than 1 or 2 goals a game.
And the point's going to go to Aaron. I'm with him there. If this hockey team's going to be better this season, everybody needs to score. They say records are meant to be broken, and 20 years later, the Oswego State men's soccer team may do just that. This season, the Lakers goaltenders, led by Brian Tara, have a goals against average of just 0.91. The record held by the 1999 team is 1.02. With 2 games remaining in the regular season, will the Lakers goalkeepers become a part of team history? Discuss if they will break the record.
I think they will. I think this is a really good Lakers defense. Not only are the goalkeepers good, and Brian Tara's probably going to start in these next 2 games because last weekend of the SUNYAC regular season, you need to move up. So you're going for your star goaltender. But at the end of the day, this defense is really good too. They're not allowing many balls to get to Brian Tara. This team has kept nationally ranked teams like Oneonta and Cortland to just 1 goal in regulation. That's amazing. And also, you look at these games this weekend. Yeah, Buff State's a really good team. You start with Fredonia. If you can put up a clean sheet against them, which I think they will, this is a very good Oswego team, and this is a team that should really beat Fredonia. They can absolutely break this record. There's no doubt in my mind. This defense has been so good this year, and so is the goaltending.
I don't think so.
What?
And
Why?
really, one reason, and it's Buffalo State. Buffalo State's scoring over 3 goals a game.
They have to play 2 games this
They're
weekend.
the best offense in the conference by far, and the Lakers are playing a dangerous game right now, a .91. You want to break the record, if they were at like .7, .6, I would probably go ahead and say they are.
If they blank Fredonia on Friday, then it's going to drop before Buff
Buffalo State gets 2 goals, that's it. They're done.
That's not it. That's not it at all. It depends on Fredonia.
I'm confident. This defense is great. Don't get me wrong.
Blow them out like that?
I don't think they're going to blow them out, but I think they could get 2 goals.
3's a lot. They haven't given up 3 in a long time.
Giving up 2 goals is all it's going to take to lose this record, and I just don't think that it's possible.
Brian Tara leading this defense. This team will get the record.
It's a good defense. Buffalo State's offense.
No doubt in my mind they're getting the record.
Best offense in the conference by a good amount. By a good amount.
And an easy decision here. Brian wins.
Yeah. I already knew before it was coming. I honestly think it's rigged. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Make sure you tune in next week, same time, same place. For Brandon Ladd and Brian Rudman, I'm Aaron Valentino. Have a great night, everyone.
3-0.